Today we are going to be making a friction folder. Here's our plan. Couldn't decide whether to do it with just a regular tail or to add a little bottle opener to it. So I think we're going to go with the bottle opener. We'll cut that out. We're using 1095 steel. And here we go. Got a new grinder, so there should be a video coming out on that, but I wanted to get this one out for the 4th of July. We're gonna mark our drill spots, so didn't have a punch on hand, just gonna use a screw, and then we can use the grinder and cut to the drill marks. Okay, we have it cut out. We're gonna leave this here so I have something to hold on to while we put in the bevel. And if we want to, we can keep this as part of the friction folder, the lock basically. There isn't a lock, or we can put it into a bottle opener. We're also gonna sand around here to get a nice rotation. And then we're gonna test the mechanics. Okay, we have it in. So now we can see the action. We'll drill a hole here, put another pin in, probably the drill bit, just to see, make sure the lock and everything works properly. So we have to shave off a bunch right there around that point so that we can get our rotation going. So, time to file. Ready. We're going to be gluing some red G10 scales here on the inside. So we're going to epoxy those on, and then we can continue with the handle. While the epoxy sets, we're going to mark it up here with this Sharpie, and then we can mark our scribe lines. So it's 1/8 inch. Everything I did was an 1/8 inch, so 1/8 inch drill bit, 1/8 inch steel, so it should be right in the middle, or they're close, and we'll mark our lines that we can grind our bevels to. Close. There we go. So there's our bevel lines that we're going to start grinding to, and then I think we can heat treat the blade. Grinding a little knife like this, it gets hot pretty quick, so I keep putting it here in the water, but it takes a little bit longer as it heats up. However, because it is so small, it does go a lot quicker. It's about a 2-inch blade, so it fits just perfectly right there across my 2-inch belt. Now we're going to heat treat. Don't have the fork fully set up yet, so we're just going to do it right through like this. Fork. Hear that? That color. And refresh. Alright, we've lined a few pieces up here. Focus, focus. There we go. So, we have our little spacer here in the back. And we have our blade here. Fits right in there, just like that. So now the tricky part is to get it all to line up again on the other side of the handle. So, right here. So I already glued this down here. We're just going to drill a hole somewhere in here that we can fit around this center pivot point, and then we'll drill our other holes, and hopefully we get it so it all lines up properly. But here we go. Okay, this is going to be the tricky part. We have our main piece over here, over here attached. So we're going to put glue here, slide it into place, let the glue set for a minute, and then we'll glue our holes all the way through, and hopefully everything lines up, and then we can shape the handle. I put the tape down just so that we don't have to clean up the super glue and all the residue afterwards. So it just makes cleanup and lining things up later a little bit easier. Now we let that set. Then we'll drill our holes from the other side. Having a drill press makes this a lot easier and makes sure that your holes are lined up straight. But this will work. Okay, so we put the other pin in as well. Got that hole drilled. And now it locks on both sides. So, now we're going to take it to the grinder and just thin it down. So you can see we're pretty much right there to the steel. We didn't quite get all the way to it, but we're pretty close, because we're going to shape this more to a little grip for your fingers. But probably need to take some off the top, and then we'll shape that too. So we got this part polished and sanded. I just did that real quick. It's actually pretty hard to sand and see what's going on this little guy, because he's the size of my thumb. So now we're going to try to sand this part. That'll be a little tricky. Try not to mess up anything over here. Same thing here. And then I think we're going to glue it up. But it's looking pretty good. It's got fingerprints all over it. Okay, we're going to glue it up. But first we're going to... It's a lovely noise from the table. We're going to scratch it up. Just have some sandpaper. Just so the epoxy... Well, I guess nothing's going to be glued right here in the middle, but... Clean it up just a little bit. This was probably one of the harder glue ups I've had to do, just due to the size and accuracy, and there's certain spots that you don't want glue, so. But we made it work.
We'll let it set.
We got it all glued up. So now we're gonna, that will focus it all. Now we're going to sand down the sides so that it's cleaned up. And then we're gonna do some engraving on the handle. So, my wife got this lovely CO2 laser. She does some wood engraving and sells custom stuff, but I can put a link to her Instagram below. But we're going to engrave the knife. So here we go. We're going to test it out, engrave a handle. And for the 4th of July, we're going to go with a flag. So, hopefully it works out. And we'll see what happens. There we go. We got the engraving all done. The flag looks pretty sweet there. Nice red bolsters. Probably should have done red, white, and blue. Would have been pretty cool, but didn't plan that far ahead. Didn't have blue in stock. But there we go. A nice little folder. Pocket knife. Happy birthday, America.